restoring pride, dignity, and creating the possibility for proper football development. The funding of this infrastructure we are doing through our national lotto. We've also partnered with government at a national, provincial and local level. A lot of lobbying needs to be done, a lot of work there. Our government in their municipal infrastructure grants designates that 15% must go to the development of sports infrastructure in all the local municipalities. That doesn't happen. It's meant to happen, it's not happening. So we're setting up a monitoring situation at every local football association to keep them to their commitments, so that 15% of their annual municipal grants, infrastructure grants, are used to develop sports facilities. And that will lead to job creation initiatives. We're partnering with the retail sector at the moment to build in 8 of those 27 sites to build a retail shopping center in a rural area that will then leverage us to be able to build a multi-purpose sports hall, swimming pool, and other facilities that will upgrade that whole community. I think another key thing for both South Africa and I think for India is on futsal. Because every country, we look at Spain, Brazil, Portugal, North Africa, futsal is the key to football development. It does not have to be indoor, it can be outdoor, and obviously those football courts can be used for multi-codes. The smaller footprint makes it easier to build and to erect as a low-cost development. So in summary, and I close with this, the rollout of this technical master plan will create a virtuous cycle of success. It will create on the ground in every corner of South Africa a systematic and structured program of development built on participation, capacity building and infrastructure rollout. It will build a rich and full talent pipeline for our national teams with both boys and girls. It will create massive skills upgrade and employment opportunities. It will deploy a cadre of 150,000 life skills educators, our coaches, with direct access of millions of young people through coaching. It will upgrade facilities, infrastructure and human capacity in every local municipality in the country, as well as every district and every province. It will bequeath the nation strong and competitive national teams that will inspire the nation, build social cohesion, and unite us all in national pride. It will change football and change our country forever. Thank you.
There's a lot that we can look at and learn from this presentation. But I think the other thing we should take away is that this is what the competition is doing, so to speak. While, of course, our countries have very cordial relationships, but at the end of the day, on the field of play, if you were to come across each other, you are competitors. And I think that the initiative that the Goa government is taking to actually bring in infrastructure is really a great example of how, in other sectors, something that has worked very well in other sectors. So, for instance, if you look at the road sector, the infrastructure sector, all other kinds of infrastructure, it has been driven through private and public partnerships. And I think that this, again, is a great opportunity to see that while the government sets up these facilities and stadia and all the rest of it, it's a great opportunity, I think, for the sport and for the professional sport in Goa and for the club in Goa, of course, to come together and use this infrastructure that is being put up in a very meaningful manner going forward. And I think that it's the responsibility, I think, of all the stakeholders involved with Indian football to focus on youth development, because I think that is really where we can raise the standards. When we look at the professional game in India today, and players who come through, they've come through a certain system and they're used to certain standards, and they've learned certain things and picked up habits along the way. And I think that to break out of that mold and to improve the standard of what we are doing, it's important to get kids who play the sport as early as we possibly can. Which is why the emphasis on youth and infrastructure and academies and development, which of course the All India Football Federation is also undertaking as part of their 2022 vision, which is also very encouraging to see. You can never do enough of that. I think that it's something we can do across the board at all levels, whether it's the All India Football Federation with their national initiative, whether it is at the state level, which is what the Goa government is doing, which I think is very, very encouraging, or whether it is individual clubs. So in our case, in Pune Football Club's case, we are investing, we believe very strongly in investing in our youth. We are investing in our academy. Our under-20 team are currently the national champions, which we think is it's a source of great pride for us. And I think that hopefully, we can retain the title this year in the under-20 league that's going on. But we are one of the few clubs that actually has a full-fledged 365 days of the year youth development and academy program. And I think that's something that a lot of clubs should develop and therefore increase the pool of players available. So for instance, if there are 16 I-League clubs and you have 15 or 20 players per club, that creates a 300 to 400 numbers in terms of a player base, which you can then expand on and take forward. So I think that it's something that we really need to do. I think that when we look at the presentation, there's a lot of things that we can learn. I think there are a lot of socio-economic similarities between South Africa and India, where there are large populations, large amounts of poverty, and government resources are always stretched. But we can always find resources along with the private sector to put into sports and to put into development, where it's not only about creating professional footballers at the end of the day, but it's also about giving young people an opportunity to develop a talent, to distract themselves from other issues and social problems that people face. So I think that I think it's a very good first step, what is happening in Goa, and I hope this is something that other governments can pick up on and take forward. And I'm sure, speaking as someone who's both involved in Indian football and on part of the private sector, there'll be plenty of takers, to get people who want to get involved, especially when it comes to the youth of our nation. And I think that's something that we can definitely work on. And I'm very grateful for the government of Goa to setting this example, which I hope will be carried along the rest of the country as well. Thank you.
I've been working in 5 different countries, and I have my own experience. What I saw so far, because I'm shortly in Goa, less than 2 months, talking about infrastructure, everybody's talking about facilities, first of all. Facilities is not the problem. Everywhere you go in the world, everybody complains about the facilities. Even if you go to Germany, for instance, they complain about this. For instance, we don't have 5 fields, maybe we need more. We need indoor facilities. This is part of our job. So what do we do from now on? We have to move on, we have to go on with our own facilities to improve this year after year. But first of all, we have so many play yards in this area, and you have to take advantage of this. As I told you before, I'll be less than 2 months here, and I saw most of the fields and the play yards in Goa, traveling every day. I saw also, and I watched many games under 14, under 16, the talent is here. So how can develop this talent? We need know-how. We need people, first of all, to educate and give the best things to the coach sessions, starting from this one. Just to teach them and give them to carry the best things concerning the ages under 16, under 14, under 12, under 10. My opinion also is just we have to extend the base. I want to see players to play under 8, under 9, under 10. It means how come you can get these players? We have to go to the play yards. Traveling every single afternoon, I saw many play yards, I saw many young players, and how where we can support them, what can you do to provide, what we have to provide them. Just very simple materials, just balls, soccer balls, give them some t-shirts, and also give them the ambition and the motivation that they have to become good players. But my focus is on coaches. You have to make many sessions to the coaches. Also, we have to improve the structure. For instance, we need under 20 leagues, under 18, under 16, under 14, under 12. Also, under 10, you want to play 5 or 7 aside games. One main problem here is about the games. I saw last year our club playing only 10 games, 15 games. How come in this country, with this weather, I mean in this part of the country, with this excellent weather, to play only 10 games? Because the league, we don't have enough games, we don't have tournaments, we have nothing. And the experience They're not coming to us. Sometimes we have to go to get experience. For instance, my proposal is under 16 selecting team from Goa, under 14. They have to participate in the national tournaments. Very close. Go to Dubai, go to Qatar. They have many, many international tournaments there to get experience, these guys. Another is we have to get culture, football culture. Football mentality. We don't have it. And I think the future is here. Another point. I saw the guys just to kick the ball, to kick and run. We have to change this. Instead of to kick and run the ball, you have to stop and to pass the ball. Some of the people say in this country we don't have sizes. The guys, they are short. The shortest team in the world is the best one now, Barcelona. But they got all these fundamentals from the Dutch. I mean, when Johan Cruyff, were there, carry all these fundamentals to Barcelona. And once again, Barcelona is the best team in the country, I mean the world, and they are the shortest team in the world, 178. So let's forget about the sizes. Let's forget about facilities. Let's forget about equipments. We have a cost over than 150 kilometers from up to the north down to the south. So we have so many players here. Just we need very simple things. We need good coaches. We need to extend the base from 8 years and up. And also, CESA started this year, named CESA Baby School. It means we get in touch with many schools in our area, and also the gym teachers to support us and to support them. Just starting academies from 8 years and up. So this is my proposal. Extend the base, more players, more young players to get involved in this sport, and then the sponsors are coming. How come one sponsor to come if the just little number of players they get involved? And back in the 80s in the United States when I was working there, they get involved 24 million youngers. Most of them they were girls. That's why in the United States, national team of the United States is one of the best in the world. But after that, the major companies that get involved in football business, like Adidas, Nike, they decide, oh, here's the big market. 24 million people play football. And also, in the United States, as you know, there is no room for the soccer. That's why they call soccer. Because there are NBA, NFL, ice hockey, baseball. Here there is playing room for football. Thank you.